After more than 3 decades of lying comatose, the cinema culture has gradually returned to Nigeria. One of the organizations that have made this possible is the Filmhouse Cinemas. On this episode, the Talk TV crew visits a mall in Ibadan to engage with some of the managers of the Filmhouse Cinemas. Welcome, Nnamdi Azike and Tolu Shebanjo. Mr. Azike, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me, Femi.
Now, before we go into the nitty-gritty of your business model and operation, give us a broad overview of the industry, globally, continentally, and nationally.
Well, the industry we're looking at is it's a cinema industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's been with us for decades, close to centuries now. And I'll tell you this, movies have been shown worldwide in different formats, in different cinemas, across the board. And I think it's actually generated from Europe, building the structure, to have a proper cinema. While what we had in Africa was your usual moonlight story, people acting, your village square things. But I think the Europeans, saw business in it and decided to take it a step further than your regular shows to, something more fantastic. Started with Broadway and all that. Then they went into movies, proper movies sake. And I think the industry has grown over the years, and having people watch 35 mm's, now you're having HD projectors, high definition, HRFs projectors, delivering movies around the world. So I think it's growing from Europe and it's coming to Africa, and Africa has been a big market. I know you of course know that we are a continent of over a billion, people, and coming into this market, they've seen potentials here, and we've been able to deliver as to add our own fair share into the market share of movies crossing box office. And also Nigeria has also been a major player in the industry as well. We started over a decade ago. The likes of, although we've had small cinemas here and there, the Odeons in Ibadan, the Pen Cinemas in Agege and in Lagos there. But I think we've structured ourselves to align with the global market, and I think Silverbird did a great job, starting off, a major chain of cinemas, and we had Genesis, and now you have Filmhouse Cinemas, and I think we have come at a time where the market is actually booming, and they're not booming per se, but because we're still trying to develop the market in Nigeria as well, reach out to a lot of people who haven't been there. Well, I think the industry has grown, and we are continuing to grow.
So it's at its initial stage. I mean, the once was a cinema culture in Nigeria.
Yes.
And then over the last 3 decades or thereabouts, there seemed to have been a comatose, a slide or a lull.
Yeah.
And then in the last 8-10 years, thanks to Bruce, I must mention his name, the culture seems to be growing at an exponential speed.
Well, it's been revived,
What do you think is responsible for the speed at which the growth we've seen recorded in the industry?
Well, I want to peg it at globalization.
Okay.
It's a key factor, in this industry, because oftentimes what we used to have was not people coming, bring you VCRs and play you movies. What we've had now is people coming into a smaller space worldwide, you having to go on YouTube and seeing that there's a trailer of a movie coming out. You want to see it the day it comes out. You go on Twitter and people are tweeting about this movies. You want to see it the day it comes out. So I think what's happened so far is that, globalization has eaten into us somewhat, and, has brought us closer to our counterparts abroad. And, that has brought us the idea that we who live, in the UK or in the US, you've seen these movies, you've been to theaters, and you've come back to Nigeria. You want to see them again. You're telling your friends about this. So I think that experience that people have had abroad, they have, sort of, passed it down to us, to our counterparts in Nigeria, and people are growing into it. I think globalization has played a key part of this, and bringing the whole, the whole cinema, the whole industry into a smaller space, and people are, getting the vibe back and say, okay, I want to see this movie, I want to be part of it, I want to be part of the trend as well.
Now, besides globalization, because I asked that question because we know, you and I know, that the cinema culture is still at its embryonic stage.
Yes.
In Africa and in Nigeria especially, compared with the Western world and even Asia.
True.
And some of us are concerned, as it were, because we know that it's a huge money-spinning industry.
Yeah.
Yet people say that it's a risky business to venture into.
Well, every business is a risky business. Yeah, it depends on how far you're willing to go, how much dream you have, how much passion you have for the business as well. A cinema business, it's quite risky for a lot because there's not enough knowledge around for people to actually share. If you say you wanted to go into importation, yeah, you could go somewhere else, read an article, read a couple of them, and you think you know it. Yeah, but in the cinema business, it's different. It's just a fair few of us.
So knowledge is key.
Yeah, it's paramount in this business. Yeah, I think, for us, for Film House, what we have is the knowledge, is the experience. Give or take, we have over 100 years combined experience in this business. So you see that's what has been driving us
now,
this far.
Some would find it difficult to understand what you mean by that. Film and cinema is just a few years old.
Yeah.
And yet you're talking about 100 years experience
Combined
combined. Are you
yeah.
talking about the executives in terms of their exposure?
Exactly.
Experience?
We've got like my MD used to be is the first black, GM at Odeon Cinemas in the UK. And we have all the members of the board who used to be at Odeon as well. And these people have been in the industry for decades, give or take. They've been
so they understand how it works.
So they understand how it works down to the nitty-gritties of the business. So it's not, we've read the script somewhere and we say, okay, cinema looks good abroad, let's bring it to Nigeria. You know the business, you've been in the screen, you've been at the movies, you've been at premieres. Do you understand what I mean? So yeah.
I do appreciate the fact that you said knowledge is key to success in this industry. And you also talked about your executives who've had hands-on experience, real practical experience. What other avenues are available to one who wants to obtain knowledge about how the industry works?
Well, I think the best way to get knowledge about the cinema business, you can read books about it. Yeah, you can go and study histories about cinema business, trends, and what have you. But I tell you this, to get the best knowledge about the cinema business, you need to be in it. Do your internship there, be a part of, the trend. Go and meet people who have been in this industry. Let them tutor you. Let them mentor you about the industry. These are the things that.
So you will not ignore apprenticeship, as it were.
It's key. It's very, very important because what you find out is when you're operating this level of business, which is quite capital intensive, you need to know your onion about it. So it's not something you can just pick up and just start running with. You need to know.
How much capital do I need to start this business, to venture into this?
Well, Femi, I'll tell you.
On the average?
On the average, yeah, give or take. It usually depends on the kind of cinema you want to build, the location of the cinema, things like that play into where is the cinema located. Is it in a mall? Is it a standalone cinema? How many screens are you doing? So those things add to the value. But I can tell you for free, it's close to a multi-million-dollar investment that you need to get up.
So we're looking at hundreds of millions of naira.
Possibly, yes.
To start out
a proper cinema. Yeah, and why I say that is that the expense doesn't stop when you lay your last block, in the cinema. You still have recurring expenditures coming into, like I said earlier, the movies that you get. You need to, the logistic factors going around, getting these movies from distributors to your cinema, playing them, staffs and all that kind of thing. So, yes, it's a profitable business, I will tell you, but it's capital intensive.
Now, besides the capital, startup capital, what other things do I require? You've talked about knowledge, you've talked about capital. What else do I require to venture into this business?
Well, you need brains. Yeah, apart from just having someone who's been in the industry for a long time, you need people who've got raw talent, who've got the drive for it.
Specifically, what kind of talents and drives or brains are we talking about here?
Business drivers. You like I'm one, I'm at the cinema now and I'm driving it. The cinema isn't where it was last year. It's grown exponentially in terms of revenue and otherwise, yeah. So I'm saying you need people who see this as a business and take it on themselves as regards, when you have like your CEOs, people think, oh, the boss up there is going to make decisions on how we're going to run out here. Or you need people who can stand alone on their own, take on the business and take it to the next level.
Who have a strong sense of initiative.
Exactly.
And business savvy.
Exactly. So those are the things that you need to make sure that your cinema is quite productive.
Now, what are the entry options available to a new player or a new entrant?
Well, the options are still there.
I do know, for instance, that your top executives have worked at top cinemas around the world, in other climes, in other continents, in Europe. What are the other options available? Besides working for someone or going under apprenticeship or mentorship?
Well, the cinema schools around Europe, unluckily for us, that's not in Nigeria. But if you wanted to get an idea of how they would run, you probably have to go for cinema courses, abroad, professional courses, and they're quite expensive, but you have to go there and learn, the nitty-gritties of the business.
So that's another option.
That's another option for you, yeah. But if you're wealthy enough, you could open one and learn from there, yeah.
You make your mistakes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be costly?
Well, it's quite expensive, but it's another option, like you said. It depends on what you can afford.
I'm sure I'm not going to advocate that. And no bank would advocate that, would give out a loan to someone.
Well, like I said, if you have enough money by yourself, yeah, you can do it. You can play around with it.
I love the way you put it.
Coming up.
Every cinema that we build, we have our own people coming to it to make sure that,
They meant to stand there.
Exactly, and so that sound doesn't go through this. You might get any other person out there to do it for you, but what you have is that your sounds escape from your cinema.
What is wrong with the sound escaping from the auditorium? What is Now take us through the value chain in this business.
Well, the value chain in the cinema business, oftentimes people think when you come in here, you see the movie and that's it. There's a back end to it. It actually starts from a concept. I think about a movie, the scriptwriter pens it down, gives you a storyline.
So it all begins in the head of the scriptwriter.
I tell you, that's where it starts from. It starts from up here. They pen it down, they take it up to the studios. I've got a good work. Check it out. Oh, they like it. It's got contact agents, call the actors. We do some, screenings.
Crew and cast.
Yeah, exactly. They check it out. Okay, you fit in. You shoot a movie. That's been done. You start to publicize these movies. When you publicize them, there's a momentum towards every release. Yeah, say for Fast and Furious, there was a huge momentum towards it. Give the Paul Walker factor. Yeah, and that came into it, pushed the business a little, pushed the movie some more, and then you get it down to your distributors worldwide. We're looking at Nigeria now. You get it to Nigeria, you get it to us. When you give us these movies, the movies just don't come to us unannounced. We have a schedule for them. Set movie release July 3rd, May 1st, days like that. So you already start to build the momentum on your own as a business driver for the movie at your cinema. Yeah, then you take this movie a step further. You do radio jingles, you go on. Right now, I have a show on radio that I go on every Friday and talk about movies. That's an avenue for me. I do that, drive the movie on that level. Then when you come into the cinema, for those who have visited, yeah, before your movie, we've got trailers running.
Yeah.
We show you the trailers of this movie.
I saw a few of them out there.
Yeah. You know, you show you the trailers in the cinema, and say, for instance, you were just having to walk past. We've got LCDs located around the cinema, where you can actually see trailers of coming to movies that are already shown in the cinema. So that way, people see them, and you know, they want to come and see this movie when they're out.
So, is the cinema the final entity on the value chain?
Well, I think the appreciation of our guests is the final entity on the value chain, because it's not just the cinema can be there. The cinema is all about the place, yeah. But how do your guests? We call them guests. House,
we call them customers.
Yeah, somewhere. Well, we take them more personally here. But
I guess it's a matter of nomenclature.
No, but we do take our guests. Guest service is our core value of Film House, and I think it's something that has driven our business thus far, and that's why we still get return guests every other week. Yeah.
But is there a difference between distributors and cinema houses?
Yes, there's a huge difference. Some distributors don't own cinemas. Yeah, some do own. Like for Film House, we have Film One Distribution. It's a sister company. Yeah. So they're distributors. Right now we do local movies. We're looking at doing international. You know, we've done some local movies like Half of a Yellow Sun. It was done by Film One. Mm-hmm. We've done October 1 by Kunle Afolayan, When Love Happens. You know, and we're looking at going further into the Nollywood market and the Hollywood market as well to get.
So distributors can be likened to wholesalers, while the cinema houses are like retailers.
Retailers, yes.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So we have independent distributors, UIP, Silverbird, Blue Pictures. You know, those are some of the distributors in Nigeria. Who represent the studios abroad.
So we actually have distributors in Nigeria at the moment.
Yes. There's quite a few of them. Around there, they represent some distributors represent 3-4 studios, some others represent 1-2. Depends on how much leverage you have to get these movies from them.
So on this chain, if you want to be a player, you could come in at the conception stage as a scriptwriter or a visionist or a member of the crew, cast, distribution. And to be a distributor for a major studio, what does it entail?
Well, it's quite a lot. Details of that I might not be able to share with you.
Those are trade secrets.
Yeah, those are trade secrets
for the initiates.
yes, pretty much. Yeah, but I know it's quite a lot because you are dealing with highly confidential material, and you're in an era where there's piracy everywhere. So it's a highly confidential, business to run.
Anyway, let's drop that since you're not going to share with us on camera. But I'd like to believe that as your friend, you will share with me after when the camera stops rolling. But let's look at the value chain from your own end here. We already understand where you stand on the value chain from the broad pictures, but let's narrow it down to your own operation here. It's not just about playing movies. What's your value chain like?
So
at Film House Cinemas.
At Film House, I think what we've thought ourselves, or the culture that we've built here, is to sell the experience, not just the movie, not just the popcorn, but we want to sell the total experience to people, and we know that people see value in a good experience. If you went to Obudu and you were homely welcomed, you were taken care of, given a spa treatment for free, you would remember that.
Now,
you say that's a value.
Before we come to what you sell, I can imagine, because everything revolves around the movies. The way I'm received here, everything revolves around the movies. I'd like to assume that the movies arrive in a box or something.
Yes,
like an enclosure.
Yes, they do.
Like courier.
By courier, most times, yes.
In what shape or form does it arrive?
Well,
DVD format?
Well, Well, it's good you said that because a lot of people think when they come to the cinema, we play them DVDs and and stuff like that. But I like to overturn that notion and say a lot of our movies are done in it's a DCP format. It's called a digital cinema package. It's a format that's been encrypted. It's an encrypted format. That means you can't play anywhere else besides the cinema. So it comes in a package in a specialized hard drive that you ingest the movie. We call it ingesting. It's more like downloading. You ingest it, put it in your system, and you wait for. Usually comes days before the movie releases, and you wait for a key to open the movie. We call them KDMs.
These KDMs are software themselves, I assume.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And they are sent to you by the distributors or the studios for you to open those movies and play to your audience.
Like a password.
Like a password, pretty much, yeah, like a password. So you play this to the audience, and that's the only way you can actually cop piracy, per se. Because if it came in a regular hard drive, people were able to copy it, and it'd be out there. Yeah, but what I know is in Nigeria here as well, we are also moving to that level. Yeah, Film One is the only distribution company in Nigeria right now that does encrypted, packages for our local market. Yeah.
So we're getting there gradually.
Yeah, we are.
Now, when you receive these movies that come from abroad, I assume, what's the next stage? I've heard you say you get them downloaded into your own system, and wait for the password on the day of screening, as it were. Now, what happens on the day of screening? Take us through some of the activities behind the scene.
Okay. Before release dates, we already have the materials. Merchandises that we have from them. Like when we take a walk around, I'll show you some, standees that we have already on display. Yeah, so you already have that on display. You already have the movies on your LCDs playing, the trailers playing on your LCDs. You already have trailers on the big screen telling people it's going to be out on XYZ date.
So giving people some snippets.
Yeah, exactly. So
advance
they can advance anticipate. Yeah, to anticipate the release of the movie. And on that day, you do your normal checks, which you do on a regular day. Make sure everything is, on point. You've got internet to get your KDMs and stuff like that. And usually you go on social media as well. The campaign is already on. There's already a trend for movies, and you build on that. You get yourself prepared. Make sure you have every retail item on check. Systems working fine. You walk through that. It's like a normal daily routine check that you do. So it's not usually for a certain release. Say you are doing a premiere of a movie, like we've done here a couple of times. Yeah, there's extra preparation that go into that because you're having the artists or the actors and the actresses here live.
The professionals are
around. So extra preparation go into all this. You maybe order for some punch, or order for some cocktails to be made as well. Order for some small chops, foods. Make sure the ambience is conducive for the people that you're trying to receive. We did the premiere. One of our recent premieres was Dazzling Mirage. It's a Kunle Kelani movie. Yeah, and he was here and he was totally blown out.
So you also take care of the logistics of entertainment of guests.
Yes, we do that. It's
practitioners will come around.
Yes, we just don't sit and wait for the movies to come. Like I told you, we're business drivers, and some part of it is about getting these people to be in the faces of their fans. It's not easy, I must tell you, but we go the extra mile to make sure. Tunde is one of the most celebrated directors in Nigeria, industry, and having to get him down to Ibadan, his roots, and coming along with some of his artists as well. It's not easy, but
and to facilitate the interaction between these practitioners and their fans out there.
That's the end user. That's the
end users.
But even as well. So
let's come to the venue, the venue of the screening. That's where the action is taking place.
Which we are.
Which is where we are at present,
Yeah.
thankfully. I can understand the auditorium setting, and I can understand the arrangement of the seats because, I mean, it's a no-brainer that has to happen. But I'm also observing a couple of other things here that I'm finding a bit difficult to understand. For instance, I observed that the walls are padded, like a proper studio, a television studio.
Well, you're a media person as well, and you understand that quality of sound is very key in this business, and you do not want your sounds to be sniffing out holes and getting out there. Even if you're in the radio stations, when you're in the booth, people don't hear you outside.
Sure.
Yeah, so what we have here, the acoustic walls. We can have a look at that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. What we have here, acoustic walls, and these walls are usually done by professionals. That's why in every business, in every cinema that we build, we have our own people coming to it to make sure that,
They meet the standard.
exactly, and so that sound doesn't go through this. You might get any other person out there to do it for you, but what you have is that your sounds escape from your cinema, and which is not good for your business. You want your people to have the best feel. Like what we have here right now is a 7.1 surround sound system. It's the best that you can get right now in the market. We're bringing it to Ibadan. It's already here in Ibadan. We don't have to wait for Lagos to have it.
You're just trying to market me.
No, I mean, but it's how far we go as a business to please our guests, to make sure that they get the best.
You can say that.
You're paying for it, so
You
we
can
need
say
to
that
give,
again.
we need to give you something.
Toot your horn.
But
What is wrong with the sound escaping from the auditorium? What is wrong with that?
Well, you do not get the feel that you should get.
If the sounds escape.
If the sound, escape. It's almost like it's almost like it's hollow when the sounds come out. You want to make sure that the speakers, the surround speakers that are there, are giving you the right sound, so that someone who's up there is hearing it, and you don't want sound from outside coming in as well. Because we have TVs out there, we have people talking on the floor, you can't tell them how to talk. Do you understand what I mean?
No, I understand.
So you don't want their talks to get into the screen, and you don't want your sound in the screen to get out, making people feel like something's happening inside there. You've got your subwoofer, it produces a decent amount of sound. So you want that to be enclosed, because you have all the screens as well.
And I also observed that you have a light right here on the floor here.
You know when the cinema, when the movie starts, the lights go off.
True.
The lights go off, and when it goes off, it's usually pitch black in here.
True.
So we've decided to put like stairway lighting as as cool as possible, so that it doesn't. Safety measure. People don't trip and fall. So we put them as cool as possible, so that it doesn't affect the people watching the movie as well. So we've tried to make sure that everything is in place, so that when you come in, even maybe 5 minutes after the movie started, you can also enjoy your movie as well. So like when we go up now, we just have a sit and try and see a movie as well, so that you can actually see how this plays into the cinema.
Coming up.
Now, how do you conduct your inventory? Because I assume every business organization has to inventorize its product list, as it were. What is the myth about being at the center of the auditorium in a cinema?
Well, it's a fantastic thing. I tell you this, when you have,
because I've heard people say that the center of the auditorium is where the sound, where you get the best benefit of the sound. I've heard some people say that. What is the myth?
Well, I think the center of the cinema is, how would I put it now? When you have sound systems all around you, back, forward, side, left side, right side, and the subwoofer up there, it's almost like the sound comes around and it settles in the middle. Okay. So you get the best feel of the sound, and you get a very great view of your screen as well. As regards where we were earlier, a lot of people think the back seats are the best, but I've been in this business for a bit. I know that, if you want to get the best view, you sit out here. That's why I said, we come out here, try and check out what's going on the screen, and you see.
I'd like to say,
a much better view of the screen from the center here.
Exactly.
I never thought about it. You know, I do hear this being said in different quarters about
The center of the cinema.
Of the cinema.
No, it gives you a great feel, you know, especially when you come into the cinema at a very good time. You know, when you sit in the middle, maybe when it's not too crowded, yeah. When you sit in the middle, you get, you know, this ambience that like you are in your own living room.
I think I'd rather just sit there and not go back.
Yeah, like
This is quite interesting.
you know, like now you're here, where you're sitting. There are people. There could have been people behind you.
Yes.
But you almost feel like you are in your own space. If you sat behind, there's a wall behind you, so it's almost like it's pushing you forward. Yeah. If you sat in front, you're too you feel like you're too close to the screen. Yeah, you have to tilt up your neck. But here, you're like, okay, you're chilled, and you know, yeah, it's eye level for you as well. And if the sounds come on, you know, the sounds come to you as regards you hearing from one end, you know. But we'll make sure that, you know, wherever part you see in the cinema, you get the same feel, you know, as regards sound, as regards quality of picture as well.
Now let's talk about niche. I mean, because in today's business world,
Yeah.
niche marketing seems to be the order of the day. You either streamline your target market or you just keep losing your bullets. What is niche marketing to the cinema industry?
Well, it's quite interesting. I must say this. Yeah, the cinema market for us, it's almost like it's everybody. We appeal to everybody. Like when you came in, you saw pixels. You know, the pixels standing out there. It appeals to kids. It appeals to adults as well. So we can't necessarily say we are catering for adults only, or we're catering for just, you know, families as well.
So niche marketing consultants really don't have businesses with it.
Well, they have a small business here. It's more very profitable business here for us. But like Film House now, we just launched our signature cinema in Ikoyi. It's the first VIP cinema in Nigeria. It's full VIP, massage chairs.
Say.
Yes, I do say. Yeah, massage chairs and everything.
And
yeah.
it goes for the same amount?
Most definitely not. It's VIP. So
Because I'm already thinking, I'm already dreaming, watching a movie and getting a massage.
yeah, your chair is there. It's full massage on. So you have people coming to you like hostesses, and you know the array of things at your disposal. You know, even more than because you're paying premium price for this.
Yeah.
By the way, you know, just say that.
It's like riding a business class.
Exactly. That's how it is. It's first class, but you're seeing a movie in a bigger screen.
Wow.
And very, very much more comfortable.
You already whet my appetite. And I can't wait to get to this.
Yeah, please. You should visit. You should visit.
My house. How do you determine what to screen? Because I can imagine there are thousands of movies that are released every year.
Yeah. Well, the movies coming, like we have a schedule already for these movies every other year. And
Who prepares the schedule?
well, the schedules are prepared by distributors as well as cinemas. It's a collaborative effort, between them, and you also do that with the release dates that the studios have set as well. And when you do that, you have an array of movies coming out. Then you basically have to look as a cinema and say, okay, I think I want to take this movie. I think I want to take that movie as well. But when you do that, you have to do that with a mindset that the audience are going to appreciate it. Because, like I said, if you take a movie, a paranormal movie, which just has all them haunted houses and stuff like that, and you want to show it in a city like Ibadan, you need to be telling yourself like, how many people are going to come see this movie? If I'm going to get
so you need to have proper knowledge
exactly
about the audience's expectations
about a movie,
and viewing behavior or viewing pattern.
Yeah, exactly. Because it guides you. Why are you here? To here. It's a business. You're supposed to make money and you're supposed to make profit out of it.
Now, how do you conduct your inventory? Because I assume every business organization has to inventorize its product list, as it were.
Yeah. Well, we have an operating system that we use here. It's for one of our clients in the UK, Jackwell. They've, we have a software that we use. Everything that we do here, from ticketing to retail, it's been programmed to take inventory of all these things. So as you take the money before your cash drawer opens, stuff like that, it takes inventory. So if I was I'm at the back end of the business most of the time, I get to see everything that happens live feed.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm watching, my cameras. I have my back end software that tells me this movie is sold out, that movie is sold out, that movie is sold out. So I get this information and it's been stored on a server, and I can check over time and say, okay, make suggestions for the future, and say, okay, if public holiday last year we did XYZ, I can forecast for this year and say, okay, we should do better, mark it up by maybe 20%.
Don't you screen movies that are old? Is there only new releases?
Well, we do support old titles. Sometimes not in the part, not in the long past, where we've shown some old titles. Sophia in London, The Meeting.
The backed by popular demand.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've done that. We've supported the industry as well. The Nollywood industry, we've supported them as well. We've shown their old titles, even much recent ones as well.
And what was the response from the audience?
Very, very, very distant. Very, very distant, because people who have missed it or who have seen it a long time ago and want to see it again.
If you were to consult for a startup, what will you be telling them?
Well, I'll be telling them the risk in this business, first of all. Yeah. If I was to do that, I would be looking at the bad part of the business, first of all, before I show you the light. You see, oftentimes people think because Film House is successful, every other cinema is going to be successful as well. It's not always the case. You get me? So,
But we see audiences trooping to cinemas.
well, they do, but I mean, are your audiences, the amount of audience that come into your cinema paying for your service charge? Are they taking care of your overhead expenditures? Is there enough money coming in for you to replicate such structures somewhere else? So these are the things that comes into the business.
So in specific terms, what are the bad things you will be telling me?
Well, I tell you, sometimes the business can be low. Months in the year there whereby the business can be low.
So it's a seasonal business.
Not per se. Movies, when these movies are slotted into, is key for you. You need to be able to tell them that, okay, to get this movie from your distributors, it costs a lot. When you don't make that much money, what else can your business do to maintain, status quo, to maintain sustainability in the business? The other part of the business is this cinema business that people don't know about. The marketing part of it. There's people need to come and do adverts in your cinema and stuff like that. Those part of the business a lot of people don't know about. So are you harnessing that part of the business enough to cover up for for your drought? Things like that. So people need to be able to make sure that.
So the business has its peaks and valleys, like every other business.
Like every other business, the peaks can go skyrocket sometimes.
So you've got to have some palliative measures.
Exactly.
To keep the tide going.
Yeah, and also what people need to know is that when you invest in a cinema, in the first year, a lot of people want profit immediately.
Yep.
It's a gradual thing. You've invested a lot of money. It can't come out in one day. So you should be able to be prepared, like, okay, 5 years, 10 years down the road, okay, then I can start reaping. If it's very successful, then I can start reaping the benefits of my investment, return on investment and all that, yeah. But Nigerians want immediate, now. But I tell them, you need to chill. If you have this money, you need to make sure that it's not what you want to use to throw your daughter's wedding next year. You understand what I mean? So you need to be able to calm down. I'll show you the business as it is. Year 1, you make this. Year 2, you make that. Year 3, year 4, okay, goes up and higher like that.
So it's like the media business, really.
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of people who go into media, especially television business, don't know that they need to have that window, initial window where you have to wait. You keep doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You keep getting audiences, but in terms of profitability, it's not going to come.
It's not going to
come until after a few years.
Yes, exactly. Then you start breaking, walls and breaking barriers to get in there. But the thing is, when the businesses are frustrated in those first years, usually most of them pack up.
true.
But you need to be able to make sure that you have, cushion,
At least to keep the overhead going.
Exactly.
So you told us the downside. What about the bright side? What will you be telling the new player about the bright side?
Well, the bright side is you look at certain movies, how they've done in the box office. Yeah. Say for AY is Smiling to the Bank.
Yeah.
All through last year, it's Smiling to the Bank. Yeah, great movie. It's Smiling to the Bank. And I'm telling a new player, you see what that guy did? It's just a Hollywood movie. Wait till you see a Hollywood movie. Fast and Furious. I don't want to give you specific figures around, other cinemas, but I can tell you for sure, it made millions in the cinema. So whoever owns the cinema, up to dollars, whoever owns the cinema in Nigeria is going to be thinking to himself, okay, that's good business. And forget about the small ones that bring you, the ones that you buy and stuff around.
Now, what's a marketing strategy for a typical cinema like?
Well, it compromises of a lot. You need to know your market. Oftentimes, people go into this market blindsided. You need to know your market. It's
audience
very
psychography.
Exactly. What do they want? Are they the cinema-going audience? Am I patient enough to build this market? Things like that, questions like that need to, be asked before you start investing. Because if you open a cinema in Lagos, in a key area in Lagos, say for Lekki, for instance, people are going to come there. You don't need to tell them the movie's out. They're going to come see it. If you open a cinema in maybe Agege or in somewhere like Ikorodu, you need to try and drive them. It means you spending more after building the cinema. Do you get what I mean? So
to drive traffic
to that cinema, per se,
So what are the things you will be doing in specific terms
to
drive traffic?
Basically, now that like I mentioned earlier, globalization has taken over. Social media has been a very vital part in driving cinema traffic. Yeah, you can harness your social media capabilities, hire a few, gurus in the industry, get them there. They start working it out for you. Do some billboards, radio interviews, and all that. You can get it out there. Some campaigns, rallies, and all that. If you're lucky enough, some celebrities, get them to push your business. So that's how,
I assume premieres is also one of the marketing strategies.
It's very key, and location helps you as well, if you wanted to open a cinema. Part of your strategy should be get a very good location as much as anything else.
I assume that when we get to the lobby, you'll be showing me some of the artifacts of marketing, because that is key to business.
Very, very, very
The
key.
business of business is making money.
That's
so
why
I'll need us to do a lot more
of making money.
Yes.
All right, please follow me then.
All right. I'll see you.